All right, and we are live. So, hi everyone. Thanks for showing up.
Hello.
Hello.
So, I created banners because I'm cool.
Ooh,
Wow.
getting the hang of
And
this
because
thing.
I feel like I always have to force the intro. So, everybody introduce yourselves. Bye, Sylvan. Grace, starting with you.
Okay, so I had my name on screen. I'm not sure whether it's showing up for people watching, but my channel name is just my name, Grace Dion, and I mostly talk about fantasy books on my channel and also some other genres, but mostly fantasy. So,
All right, and Nico, you next.
Well,
hello. My name is Nico, and my channel is Nico's Book Reviews. Also, very, very fantasy, which makes it fun for this one because this one was definitely a different book for me compared to what I'm used to. So this was a really fun one. I've also noticed I'm gonna try and move my head so that I look like I'm the StreamYard duck talking.
Fair enough.
From now on.
That could work. All right, Sylvan, we are doing introductions. So, go ahead and introduce yourself and where you stream your videos.
She may still not be able to hear us
Can you still not hear us?
based on that reaction. She's shaking her head. That probably means no.
No?
Oh, that's so sad.
Hold on. Is there anything I can do? No, I don't have her muted or anything. I don't know. John, let's jump over to you while she works on her technical issues.
My name is John. In parentheses, my booktube channel is Walker Writes 7. I mostly do like YA fantasy, some adult fantasies, and I'm an artist, self-published author, and book reviewer. Yay!
Yay! And then we've got the ever amazing Katie without an E.
Hi, I'm Katie. My channel's Katie without an E. I read a little bit of everything, but lately I've been leaning towards fantasy and sci-fi.
you
Nice.
have no influence whatsoever on that.
No, not at all.
We love. Oh, we got Ben in the house. We got Narsil. So we got some good people watching.
We've
All
got
right.
been for like 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. And then, of course, I'm Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. If you're on my channel, I do fantasy and sci-fi, and I'm a bit of a goofball. And it doesn't look like Sylvan has quite worked out her tech issues yet.
I'm trying to chat over to her and see if we can get it figured out. I told her.
Maybe she needs to mess with her speaker settings, or we'll add her back in and see what happens. Oh, apparently I'm a bit
Just a smidge.
weird.
Just only a little.
A little, you know.
I
Okay.
still got a scrape from when I last fell out of my chair, so I'm going to try to avoid doing that. And I think Nico is still waiting on his new chair.
I have my new chair now.
Wait, did you break your old chair falling
Yeah,
out
we
of
have
it?
that.
So the chair honestly was in really poor condition, and that's why I was able to lean back far enough to not really hurt myself falling out of it because it was already pretty much broken. That probably didn't help, but yeah, the one I'm in now is new, and so I will not be tipping over it.
hello.
Oh my
I
gosh.
can hear you,
Hey,
Sylvan.
we can hear you. Can you hear us?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Tell her to turn up her speaker volume. Technical difficulties have occurred.
Oh, well. That's good. I have Twitch pulled up and I can hear that, but I can't hear you guys. So it's not my speakers, because I can hear that. I don't
Well,
know.
if she's watching the live show, maybe she can introduce herself, and then she'll only respond in 3 seconds after the delay. No?
Yeah, technically, if she's watching the YouTube live stream, she can still hear us.
It would be a bit of a delay.
Yeah.
I'm trying it. See if we can make it work.
Oh, we got a cat.
Yeah.
Hi, Kat.
Kitty.
All right. Well, let me go back to the banners, and we've got private chat. Hold on. There we go.
That's what I've been using.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I don't think she saw that one.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and move along. So we've done introductions.
I can't even hear myself. I'm Megan. Hi. I can't hear anything that's happening, but I'm here. This is my cat.
We love your cat.
So
I guess you can't hear me say that.
I might stay. I might go. Oh, I don't know. I'm not good with computers. Clearly, they don't like me either.
Fair enough. Well, if you stay, thanks for staying. If you don't go, well, we're sorry we missed you. Anyway, let's start with initial thoughts. Well, if you stay, thanks for staying. If you don't go,
well, now we're going to hear ourselves.
Anyway, let's start with initial thoughts. Well, if you stay, thanks for staying. If you don't go,
Well, now we're going to hear ourselves.
This has turned into Inception.
Oh my god.
This is like a time loop.
No.
I was just waiting for the
did not
moment
expect-
when she heard Walker say, "Now we're gonna hear ourselves talking," and her reaction, "Oh no, they can hear." Oh man.
Solutions have been provided.
Oh my god.
All right, let's start with Grace. Your initial thoughts on. Let's just stick to the book because I do have a section for book versus movie a little later.
Okay, are you talking like initial thoughts as in start of the book?
Just kind of your overall feelings of the book.
Oh, okay. So this is like pretty much a favorite for me. Like I haven't read that much sci-fi, so if I had to pick a favorite like sci-fi book, this is definitely my favorite. And I actually hadn't seen the movie until a couple of years ago, but I read this book when I was like 12. And I know I read the book way before I saw the movie, but I loved it back then, and I loved it when I read it again like last year. And I feel like I just like the combination of like science and thriller that he has here. And I was also obsessed with dinosaurs as a child, so it's just like the perfect combination for me.
Fair enough. Who wasn't obsessed with dinosaurs as a kid? I believe I had a
Actually, I
dinosaur
wasn't.
storybook.
Why are you guys even here?
That's why I hadn't read it till now.
Because we like
I
diversity.
fixed it.
Hey!
Yay!
You guys in real time?
Yes. So. Oh no. So I'm on
When you
my
say "oh no," we
phone.
get worried.
So I'm on my phone, but my camera's turned off. So I can hear y'all, but I can also hear myself again.
Ugh.
I mean, that still kind of works.
Yeah.
Do you want to, before we move any further, do you want to do
Oh,
an
wait.
introduction for yourself?
Sure. I was hoping I could fix. Oh no! I left again. Hold on a second. Just, Alright. There we go. I
Okay.
accidentally backed out of StreamYard.
All right. So go ahead and introduce your channel and where you stream, because I know you don't stream on YouTube.
Yes, so I'm Sylvan Princess, and I'm like I have a really chill channel over on Twitch because I thought that would be different. I host reading sprints every Sunday usually, except for this upcoming Sunday because I'm gonna be at JordanCon. So I know it's literally 15 minutes from my house, so I'm like I might as well go.
You might as well go.
I might
Very
as well
jealous.
go. So
All right, well-
my channel is Sylvan Princess. So if you want to join for a reading sprint, you're welcome to join me on any Sunday. Sometimes I do crafting streams on Wednesdays, but recently I have had some arm issues and I have not been able to stream. So keep an eye out for that too if I start doing that again.
Fair enough. Now I'm going to be depressed for the rest of the stream because you're going to JordanCon. Anyway.
Jealous.
Nico, initial thoughts on the book?
So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I wasn't sure just because I won't compare it to the movie, but I've seen the movie many times and had never read the book. And so it's kind of an odd experience reading when you kind of already know what's going to happen. But the way it sets up with kind of the mystery and everything was still really enjoyable. And I really liked the kind of the ride. And there were enough things that were different too that was pretty fun. But I absolutely was one of those kids obsessed with dinosaurs. So it made me laugh, for example, or like the really early part where she's like, "Oh, that's a dinosaur. My 8-year-old loves those." And I'm like, it's a good kid. It's a good kid. But
Before we continue, I like that the top row is all dinosaur lovers and the bottom row is like not.
Normal people.
that's why you're on the bottom.
On top, as we
Boom. Because we totally did that on purpose. Thank you, StreamYard. All right, Megan.
So I had watched the movie like 5 years ago for the first time. And I have a trash memory, so I remembered basically nothing about it when I went into the book. Actually, I'm pretty sure I remembered literally nothing about it when I read the book. So that was actually really nice, because I got to see the movie and then read the book both fresh. I was planning on watching the movie again after I read the book, and then I just never did. I had actually read like 3 Michael Crichton books before Jurassic Park, because like I said, I was like never really interested in dinosaurs. But after I had read the other 3 of his books, I was like, well, I guess I kind of have to read Jurassic Park now, don't I? And then it was great, so
It's fantastic. And all of a sudden you realize you love dinosaurs. And now there's 4 of us against 2.
No. I like dragons,
You
which
said
is
no.
Sit
Hey,
down,
I'm
Andrew.
taking that as a win. Taking it as a win.
They're like distant cousins, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
And the ever fantastic Walker writes 7.
So yeah, I feel like I know we're talking about initial thoughts, but I feel like we're also talking about our history with dragons. Not dragons, dinosaurs. Dragons are next time. But yeah, actually, I mean, you can see all this stuff back here. I have like my nice little like dinosaur memorabilia. It's not mine. Like none of it's mine. I bought the book and all this stuff for my partner. He absolutely loves dinosaurs and stuff like that. So, and I didn't even really care for the movie. It's like I'm okay with them. Like they're fine. But yeah, I wasn't like absolutely in love with it. So I mean, I think that's good. I think you need more perspective, Nico. So stop wagging your finger before I snap it off.
You got Ashley in the house.
What I absolutely loved, or my initial thoughts about the book, is that, I mean, we all know the movie for the most part, and so we kind of know what's supposed to happen. But even if you haven't seen the movie, you know, picking up the book, that it's going to be about like dinosaurs. And so even though you know that, what I absolutely loved about the very beginning is the way Crichton does storytelling, because you're still fascinated to see how everyone else figures out about dinosaurs. It's like, that's so rare. I can't explain how you can make something that's really obvious, you know what's going to happen, still be really interesting. It's like I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for these people to figure out what's going on, even though I clearly know what's going on. So yeah, I just think the way he does the storytelling is amazing. I think it makes for a really good reread, obviously, since you already know what's happening. It was still good the first time. And then I feel like the way he talks about the science doesn't really go over your head at all. So there's so much like weird sciencey mumbo jumbo and like philosophical stuff with the one doctor. Sorry, I can't remember his name, but Jeff Goldblum.
Ian Malcolm?
Yeah, there we go.
No, it's Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum. No, seriously, like when I couldn't believe that they made the book before the movie, because that character literally epitomized, like Jeff Goldblum did it amazing. I know we're talking about the movie, but yeah, those are my initial thoughts. It's great storytelling, and I love the way science and philosophy like doesn't go over your head. It seems really natural, and be able to consume it very easily. It's very digestible.
Definitely agree.
All right, and Katie?
Yeah, I liked it. I've never read it or watched the movie before doing this
Ooh.
because I had like a really bad fear of dinosaurs when I was a kid.
So you
Aw.
must still hate crocodiles.
Well, like bad to the point that when we had dinosaur day in school, I'd come home in tears. Like I was terrified.
Oh my! Oh
Can you imagine
no!
if she read this? Like, because isn't the beginning with that little girl getting attacked by dinosaurs? Imagine Katie reading this when she was little.
Oh,
I'm like,
By the way, this is full spoilers.
Katie reading this at the time that I first read it would probably not have gone as well for her as it did for me.
no, definitely not. I needed to be in my 20s to read it. But yeah, I was very hooked by the beginning with like the little dinosaurs and stuff like that. And I really like the way that Crichton set up the tone of the book like that. And as we got towards the middle, I started to get a little bored almost. And then it picked up again. I don't know.
Wounded.
I can see that.
Yeah. No.
It kind of like stalled for a bit, and then it got good again. I don't know, because
I
there's
feel like I see what you mean, but I also I felt the tension the whole way through it.
yeah. No, I knew the tension was supposed to be there. I think just like sort of like when the what's his name, Dr. Grant and the kids were in the park. I kind of got bored because they'd like show them and then they wouldn't, and I'm like, just tell me what happens. Like I didn't love the back and forth. But
Yeah, I think I got more annoyed than bored, but I'm sure we'll probably talk about.
Oh, that's
why that
I
is,
think
like-
the next prompt.
hey John, I'm hungry.
sorry.
No, that's the next prompt, Nico. Stay on topic.
But yeah,
I'll eat
overall, I
ground
like
on that
her letter.
raft.
It's not Nico, it's the duck.
Yeah, it's the duck. Anyway, my history with it is I grew up on Jurassic Park. I have seen the movie multiple times. I own them all on Blu-ray. I love Jurassic Park, but I never read the books. And so, or the book. I know there's two, but I haven't read that one yet. And so I grew up with the movies. I loved dinosaurs as a kid, and it wasn't until I was in high school that I realized there was a book. So that's, what, a decade and a half ago? Because I'm old. And yeah, so I was thoroughly enjoying my read through of this one. Now, because I can just hear everybody grinding their teeth, let's talk about our favorite and least favorite characters.
I feel like everyone's gonna have the same answer.
I mean, for this days, everyone just had the same least favorite answer.
I mean, yeah,
yeah.
I think so. I
I feel like
think
there's not
it's
to be
pretty safe.
any disagreement on that.
Yeah.
You guys want to go throw some pickle?
It's just so obvious.
I want a snack.
I don't want hamburgers. I said I wanted ice cream.
Gosh, John, I don't care if dinosaurs are
Whee!
chasing
I'm
us.
going down the river and I'm getting murdered. Wee!
I also can't hold in a
You
cough.
carry me, Dr. Grant.
Of a dinosaur.
If we haven't made it really obvious, we're talking about Lex.
Poor girl got really done dirty in that book. Like he couldn't have
Yeah.
given her a redeeming quality.
That's what I was saying. Like that, I think I got so annoyed with it because I was like, there was only like one good female character, and the other one was the girl, and all of the negative traits about children was all in this one girl. Like, why was the kid so perfect? I just didn't understand that. That's what really bugged me. I'm like, at least even it out. Like they're both kids. Like you can't be like, oh, she's a kid, so it makes sense for her to act like that. I'm like, well, why is Mr. Smarty hacking McGenius over here like cool as a cucumber?
I don't know. What was the boy's name again? I've actually forgotten.
Him, right?
Yeah, Tim.
Tim.
Yeah, Tim. Tim was actually a lot of fun. I didn't mind Tim super much, especially because like for as old as he is and for what he went through, like dude is hard as nails.
Yeah. The book Tim was cool.
Like all I can think about is him getting like the tongue wrapped around him and slowly pulling him out
Yeah.
from the waterfall, and I'm just like he's just sitting there quiet. Just
That part was really tense.
Mhm.
That because he's just like because he just knows that there's nowhere for him to go.
yeah, he's like either I get saved or I'm just gonna die. Like there's no point in me screaming. Maybe if I lay here, something will happen. But yeah, what did you guys of the adults? I mean, I know we all hate Lex, but what did you all think of Grant, Malcolm, the old dude? What's the
Hammond.
old dude?
Hammond.
Hammond. Yeah. Sorry, Hammond. For some reason, I always want to call him Kentucky Fried Chicken. but that's just
I
the
picture
image I
him
get in
pretty
my brain.
similarly.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders, that dude. He always looks like Colonel
hungry.
Sanders to me.
I actually really am hungry. You can call me Lex all you want, but I'm hungry.
We won't blame you if you eat ice cream on stream.
Oh, so perfect.
But no hamburgers, because we
No
don't want
hamburger.
hamburgers.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's the first thing I think of whenever I'm done being chased by like dinosaurs, like almost murder. Is I'm definitely still hungry.
You work up an appetite with
I
all
mean,
that
trauma
cardio.
definitely
Not
makes-
even like biologically correct. Like your digestive system like shuts down when you're in stress.
Exactly.
You can't be
That's
hungry.
true. But
Okay, will you
Science.
now sleep later? Have you not seen what a pterodactyl would do to you?
Yeah, I was surprised. I saw that too. That Nico, exactly what I thought. I was like, a pterodactyl sounds awful. They would like, I feel like they couldn't like kill you in one go. They would just like
No, they'd be like
poke you, or,
hacking at you.
or they'd like
Or
pick
they
you
lift
up
you
and
up
like
and-
drop you, or something.
One of the long necked dinosaurs would probably just accidentally step on you and crush you and kill you instantly, so that'd probably be fine.
Yeah, but like they're not meat eaters. It
Good
doesn't
one.
matter when it weighs 7,000 pounds.
Okay, wait. I know this is off topic, but since we're literally it was off topic from what Andrew wanted us to talk about, but now it's on topic. But when it had to bring up the what was it, like the eels? That guy sitting in the cave and the eels and where like those things go. You guys remember what I'm talking about?
No.
Clearly, no one
More
else is
specific.
traumatized like I am. It was, one of the guys, I think it was the lawyer. He was running. He ran downhill and he like hid in a cave, and then he like there was eels like or leaches, so like blood sucking. Like,
Oh,
leeches
yeah.
or
Oh, the
something on
leeches.
it.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. I was
I
thinking
was
like
like eels.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was leeches. And it was talking, and he was like talking about like where leeches go to be warm, and I was like, "We are not doing this right now. You're not talking about things going up your butt. This is not happening."
No, it freaked me out.
I was like traumatized. I was just like, "Hell no!"
I mean, hey, they want to be warm too.
Like, that's not how I want to go.
Oh,
No?
man.
that was very unpleasant.
So,
But
who did you
they
all
did
think
with-
was the actual protagonist, or do you think it was an actual like a shared cast?
Well, I
Felt
feel
very
like
shared
Grant
to
and
me.
Ellie were kind of the protagonists.
Yeah, that would make more sense to me. What about you, Sylvan?
I think it definitely felt pretty shared to me. I mean, Crichton's strength is not in his characters, so like that's really not the focal point of the story. So most of his stories are like the cast of characters, not like this character.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
I did think the subtle like characters that were just a little bit different than if you'd seen the movie first, what you'd think too, which is how some of them are different. But I still pictured most of them the same way. But like you had like at the beginning where Grant's just like, we measure time in 6 packs of beer around here when we dig for our dinosaur bones. There were like, even though there wasn't like a ton of character development necessarily, I thought he did a really good job with just having these small things people say or do that kind of just like you instantly be like, I can picture this kind of person in my own life without you going into a ton more detail. And so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I feel like they were definitely very, and this is why, and this is all, Andrew, this is kind of your fault because now I read this like over a month ago, and I've seen the movie since then, so I'm mixing them together. But yeah, I feel like they were all very stereotypical, or they're like kind of like this is their one thing, like this is like their ideal, or like what they're going to do. Like I'm the dinosaur guy, I'm like the philosophy guy. So I feel like there
Or
wasn't
the
really.
annoying child.
Yep, exactly. It's like that was pretty much it. It's like they didn't really stray too much from like their designated like circles or anything. But that being said, I actually really liked the female doctor. What was her name? Like Ellie?
Ellie.
Yeah,
Just because she like jumped off a roof to get away from dinosaurs into a pool. Like I know she didn't get a ton of screen time, but I really liked whenever she was on the page.
The one character I hated, other than Lex, always on the page was Hammond. I felt he was willfully ignorant, and no matter what happened, he was determined to open up a park. Like people are dying in droves, and he's just like, "It's growing pains. It's growing pains. Don't worry, we'll just work out the kinks. Don't worry, we can control nature." And it's like, dude, pull your head out of your butt cheeks.
Yeah.
It's where the leeches go.
Yeah, he was. No, he was so annoying that I appreciated having a character like that. I don't
Did
know.
you?
He was like
Mhm.
the character
Me too.
of capitalism,
Yeah, like unapologetically money
like
hungry,
greed
really.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
And scientific advancement.
that was all
Purposes of
that
scientific
commentary.
advancement.
Yeah. It was that I didn't realize there was going to be so much of that, and it was really interesting because you get the science, and yeah, Hammond feels more like the villain, and then you have Nedry who felt a lot less like a villain. And I did love early on too, like all the red tape of how they don't discover things because like people mislabel samples or they just throw them away because they assume it's a lizard and they don't even care, and like all of this stuff that prevents things from happening quicker, and just kind of the look at that into like the corporate world too. There were a lot more things in there that were pretty interesting.
As a lab tech, I can relate to like the things at the beginning when I was like, oh, that would totally happen.
Yeah, working
Not
in a
that
lab
it should
like
happen,
that too.
but it does. It does happen.
Yeah, the what about Malcolm? Because Malcolm was way different, a way different portrayal than what he is in the movie. Because actually, while we're talking about it, let's just go ahead and do the book versus the movie. Because I think Malcolm and Hammond are great contrasts of adaptation versus original source material, specifically because they are so different. And some of you have watched it for the first time, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
Well, it's been a couple of years since I saw the movie, but I like Malcolm in both the book and the movie, whereas Hammond I didn't really like in the movie. I liked him more in the book because I felt like it made more sense to have him be like kind of an evil character than it did to have him be like this nice old man. Like I didn't actually like that as much. I don't know if that's a popular opinion or not.
See, I like Hammond in the movie.
I just felt like, I don't know, I liked having kind of him as the villain and not necessarily the dinosaurs, because I feel like it's more interesting that way. But one thing I really liked about the movie before, like, someone else can talk is I did like how they evened out the kids in the movie a lot more than they did in the book in terms of like character traits. So
yeah,
for sure.
This is just kind of free for all. So
I'll
if you
go next.
think of something, speak up.
Yeah, because I want to piggyback on what Grace said, because I definitely understand what she's saying. Like, I think from a story perspective, and like you said, to make it more interesting, I do think the book Hammond is more interesting and more compelling. But in terms of enjoyment, I definitely like the nice old men from the movies that survives. So I like that.
Yeah.
Besides that, I didn't think that Malcolm was too different. Like I said, I feel like Malcolm was exactly like he was in the book and the movie. I thought Grant was a little different. I really liked how they had in the movie Grant have like this sort of like I don't like kids kind of like storyline that kind of made it his journey more interesting instead of him just like being like the kind nodding like grandfatherly figure that's just helping these kids along. I like how he didn't like kids. Like my favorite scene, I was laughing so hard in the movie when the boy is following him around in like the Jeep and he's just like, where are you sitting? And he's like, I'm going wherever you're going. And he's like, oh Lord, help me now. It's like I really enjoyed that. And like as Grace said, I loved how they made the kids like both have their kind of like issues and like their strong points and stuff like that. And then I still really liked Ellie. Like I loved Ellie and Malcolm. Not Malcolm. The other doctor, I just said his name, Grant. Like Grant and Ellie, I thought they were like really cute. I liked how she had the more medical side, like when she stayed behind for the dinosaur. There was a lot of realism that I really liked in the movie that kind of like switched things a bit up that I personally enjoyed.
Oh. And it's kind of Grace, what you touched on with having like Hammond be the villain instead of the dinosaurs. And to Nursel's comment about, for like the family blockbuster with like the horror aspects, it's more like people versus dinosaurs. But yeah, the book had a lot more of a complex story that I thought was told in a more interesting way. Like the movie's super entertaining and I love the movie and I still do. But we were more so looking at like extrapolating to society with how this island's working, and it's the greed and all of the corporate profit. That's what's really driving this to the point where it's not going to be safe because they're trying to maximize profit. And the dinosaurs are there, but they're looked at much more as just animals. And you still get a bit of like the velociraptors like they're really smart and they're going to come get you. But the whole thing, it's made much more clear that like Hammond messed this up bad. It's not like dinosaurs are just bad, like they're animals. They're just kind of doing what they're going to do. And just the kind of the overall like look at chaos theory with Malcolm too, and how we kind of like started doing the thing where it's like striating out and everything too, was just like that whole thing was like a really interesting aspect that I never would have seen coming in the book, and I didn't at all. I had no idea it was going to be like that, and it was super enjoyable.
I totally agree with you on the whole like chaos theory and iterations thing. Like I really liked that was how the book was structured, because I felt like, one, it's creative rather than just having like chapters, and then it's also a way to kind of tell the reader like things are getting more serious without like necessarily telling you what's going to happen in that section. You just kind of know that like things are deteriorating. So
yeah, I felt like, kind of going off what everyone else was saying, that the movie was kind of missing a villain. Like, you had Nedry, but he was just kind of like there to be like a funny villain. And then I liked how Hammond was more of like an actual like corrupt character. Like, especially like when Wu was telling him that Wu could like engineer like nicer dinosaurs, and Hammond was like, no, that wouldn't be real. So like he really just didn't care about the people on the island or anything. And I just kind of enjoyed reading that a little bit more than like watching like a nice old man, even though like that's obviously better that he's like, yeah, people are dying, let's fix that. But yeah.
See, what I thought Spielberg did really well, going off what Katie just said, is there isn't really a main villain in the movie. But what I think Spielberg did is he took suspense and fear and made that the villain. So basically, the animals are just there. The dinosaurs are there, but like there is this whole nother layer of like, there's that scene in the movie where the T-Rex is coming, and you just see the water glass just vibrating, and that suspense and that just overall just oh no, it's kind of what drives that entire movie. So I think that's the genius of Spielberg. What I think the genius is of, I think it was John saying earlier, where we got a kitty in the house, our own little dinosaur.
Yeah.
Mr.
Merlin.
Mr. Merlin.
Come here.
A cat is one way to derail my conversation entirely. Now cast a spell for the wizard.
It's so cute.
Somebody gift that. We can put it in Wizarding Hour.
He puts up with a lot.
But
wait till you see something I'm gonna make.
What Crichton did is he put every single character in a role, like John was saying, to drive home a certain point. So Hammond is the capitalist, and Malcolm is the, I don't even want. What would you say Malcolm is? The hammer that smacks around Hammond?
He's kind
like the moral compass.
Because he has his whole, like, he's kind of the philosopher, because he has this whole chaos theory that he's listening to him on for the whole book.
Yeah, and then you've got the kids to. I don't really know why the kids were there in the book. I know there's the whole divorce thing, which I think was like liberated and then put into Jurassic World.
No, the kids were put there because Hammond wanted. Hammond wanted the investors or whatever to see what, because they're basically, everyone that was there to see the island was supposed to report back on how good it's going to be so that they can get good press about it, or the investors will like it and go forward with it. So the kids were there to show how much kids love dinosaurs and stuff like that, to get like their perspective, because that's who's going to be there, is like families and kids and stuff like that. So Hammond did it very selfishly, which I think is funny, because later he even brings up how he wishes he never invited the kids at all. I'm just like, you're such a piece of shit, Hammond.
Well, that's because they want to scare the crap out of him, and then he dies.
Yeah. Yeah, he was very meticulously picking people to go that he thought would get like the best response or whatever to continue the project.
Then why did he ever bother bringing Malcolm back? Because Malcolm spent the whole book saying, "I told you so."
I think his pride is the reason why Malcolm went, is he wanted to prove Malcolm wrong. He wanted Malcolm to see that what Malcolm said about his island was not true.
Yeah,
That might make sense.
I agree. He was all like, "No, we can
Alas.
control it. What you're saying is not going to happen."
I think that you're right, but I'm trying to remember whether there was also an actual reason. Like, was Malcolm involved with the investors in some way, or no?
He had originally like surveyed it and basically said that it wasn't possible, and so they were trying to get him to like revise his opinion because he was like a respected mathematician.
He was a contractor. They like contracted people to give their opinion on it.
Yeah.
I definitely forgot that setup.
But I thought overall the movie I think was like more entertaining and worked better as a movie, whereas all the differences in the book made it a better story. But I don't feel like if it would have been like shot for shot, the movie being what's in the book, I don't feel like the movie would have been as good. I feel like it was done. The movie was done in the way to make it the most entertaining, but the book also tells a different story that I don't think would translate as well to film. So for me, I actually really enjoyed all the differences. I think they both were like really, really great pieces of work in their respective mediums.
I agree.
Speaking of which, there is a point that Grace brought up. I'm just doing away with the banners. I don't care anymore. Because I was wondering if somebody would mention it, the term sci-fi. And I want to touch on the fact, does everybody think this is sci-fi?
Like,
I mean,
not
technically, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Because I mean, more horror thriller than anything else.
Well, it's for its time, wasn't it sci-fi?
But, I mean, if we can do
Even
cloning
now.
today, and they say, well, we can make a woolly mammoth, does that still classify as sci-fi if we can actually do it?
Well, I think that Michael Crichton was speculating about a lot of that science, like the genetics and stuff. Like,
Well,
I
he
think
was
that
right.
it was still fiction in that sense when he wrote it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess it does. Like, I guess it is based on the time that it came out, but maybe it just came around sooner than he thought it would.
Yeah, I'm like really bad with like genres, especially sci-fi, because like I still think of sci-fi as like Star Wars, like kind of like space opera. I usually am not really good with like naming sci-fi when it's like basically our world, but just advanced technology. That's the kind of sci-fi where I'm just like, I don't know how to classify it. It's not in my wheelhouse.
I think it still falls under the broad umbrella of sci-fi because, like, if you think about like urban fantasy or whatever, it's still considered fantasy even if it's not like epic fantasy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like technically, like I've only read one book by Blake Crouch, but that's considered sci-fi technically, even though there's no like. It's kind of like the same type of thing, like scientific technology that's like a little bit ahead of its time, but it's not. It's still based on like real world facts, sort of.
I definitely agree with Kate. Speculative fiction.
Yeah, one thing that I think it really makes it sci-fi is like the commentary on scientific advancement and like the commentary and discussion of the science itself. I think that inherently makes it sci-fi regardless of whether this is something that can actually happen right now or if it's something that he thought would happen in the future. Like the discussion of the science is still in the book.
Okay, I can see that. So you're saying that the discussion when like Malcolm is basically ripping him a brand new butthole for new leeches.
Can't forget your leeches.
Basically, he's just like, you took the work of other scientists, did no research, and just decided to slap your take on it and call it yours.
That on that point, that was one of the most unexpected points for the book to make for me, where it actually like after the whole thing came off, it's kind of like anti-science, and Malcolm literally talking about like, you know, back in the day they didn't have any science and everybody was fine, and I'm just like, is there an anti-science like movement? I'm like that. Well, okay, I'm not going there. But as far as the book, I just mean like this obviously like he's a mathematician, he's like a philosopher, this guy, and just kind of the argument that like scientific advancement is actually bad. I was just really interesting, and that one kind of took me. I'm like, I mean, like he's making good points, but at the same time, it was such an odd point to make. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting because I personally, when I read it, didn't take it as like an overall anti-science message. And I actually read something earlier today, like, because I was reading facts about Jurassic Park. And And basically they had described it as the reason that Malcolm was against it and with chaos theory was because they were trying to force, I don't know if I'm going to word this right, but they were trying to force a complex system to be too simple, and that's why it wasn't going to work or something like that. So I don't know that it was actually anti-science. It was just like, in that specific sense, they were like, you're this advanced, you're not using it right, like this is going to go really poorly type of thing.
Yeah, that's what I got from it. 'Cause I did think that was really interesting because that line stuck out. Is I don't think that Malcolm was necessarily saying anti-science, but he was saying the way things go about. Because like he brought up like karate, is that you can't be like a master, even though even though you can know the advanced forms, like you have to start from the bottom, like work your way up. But with science, you literally can just take the hard work of someone else without doing anything below it and just like hop right into it. So like I think that's what he was kind of saying is like you can't comprehend or understand the responsibility with science because it's so easy to start at the very top instead of at the bottom. So yeah, I don't think he was anti-science, but he was anti the way that they chose to pursue science.
Yeah, going off John's point, the way I read it is he was just saying that you haven't taken any responsibility for what you are trying to do. Literally, you just think that you can read this paper or take this process and make it your own and make advancements without ever doing any of the hard work to understand what you're actually doing. So I think he was advocating for responsibility is I thought what the message was.
I definitely.
And definitely the like anti-corporate greed where people are just going into science to make as much money instead of like trying to advance science for science sake too. So.
I feel like that's a common theme in his other books as well, is like science for greed or science for the science's sake or science because you love science. So
another thing that I think it was Narsil, I think in the Discord during the read along, that beach scene in the beginning of the book is actually in the second movie. Apparently it was shot for the first movie and shifted. And then also, again, I think the divorce plot line of the two kids, their parents, was shifted to Jurassic World. And I thought that was really, really interesting. I also thought it was really interesting that they made the shift that Grant from liking kids to hating kids, and from him and Ellie to being in a relationship to not being in a relationship.
Yeah.
I have not seen nor read Jurassic World.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I've read Jurassic World. Wait.
More Goldblum in your life is never a bad thing.
I've read The Lost World, but Jurassic World doesn't follow The Lost World, does it?
No, Jurassic World is set like 30 years after.
Oh no. I meant Lost World. I've neither read nor seen Lost World.
Honestly, I think Lost World, the book, is like pretty decent. Like I didn't like it as much as the first one, but I thought it was like still pretty good.
I still have to read it.
But
didn't Crichton not want to write it or something?
Yeah, he more kind of wrote it out of anger.
They undid a certain thing that happened at the end of Jurassic Park, and I was like, whoa, what?
Didn't they like unkill characters?
They unkilled a character, yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I know some people talked and said basically it's just Spielberg was like pushing. I think that was Narsil too. Said Spielberg was like pushing for a second book so they could do another movie. It was me. That's funny. There we go. Okay. It's and then the third movie, which I know the third movie is not technically good, but I had that on VHS when I was a kid and I watched it like all the time. So I've actually seen the third movie more than any of them, and I still love it. So
it's not technically good, but
well, if Jeff Goldblum is in it, it can't be bad.
He's not.
I don't have a kazoo boiled jellyfish, otherwise I totally would.
Well, you don't have to play it yourself.
Yeah, it's not working.
Does anyone have a kazoo?
You can look up the actual kazoo version.
No, it's not working.
This
I
is
tried.
really random, but since it's like Jurassic theme music or whatever, the one scene that I really liked from the movie was the scene in the helicopter where like suddenly it kind of pans over the island and you can see it, and it's very dramatic music. I love that.
Yeah, scene. I was actually surprised how detailed that was in like the book too. Like that the scene in the book and the movie with that helicopter scene was like very similar. I was like, oh, that's a really random thing to be like so perfect on. But yeah,
That's
it was a
probably
very
something where like they thought that it would look really good, like translate really well, like
yeah.
that.
But yeah, it was a really good establishing shot with the music and everything. I completely agree.
Well, it just had a fantastic soundtrack. I think it was done by John Williams, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
John Williams is awesome live, by the way.
Oh, you've never seen, but I mean, it's the music too is part of what makes the movie so great. I feel like,
Yeah.
I missed like the big epic scores for movies from John Williams and others, and you just don't get that as much. But it really gives you that epic feel. And like I was absolutely picturing that reading the book too. But yeah, the book was very detailed, and like some of the dinosaurs definitely were described as being a little bit different too. But it's just like everything as it was described, it was so easy to picture, even the things that were different. And so I really enjoyed that too. And like all the visuals in the movie are great too, but the book did a really great job with it. I think.
So if I may hijack because of what Nico just said, because this is actually a part that like stood out to me and I had to write it down. And I don't know if you guys have seen like hints about what the next Jurassic Park movie is going to have with the feathers and everything like that.
Fast and the Furious.
What?
There's rumors that there's going to be the new Jurassic World is going to be a crossover with the Fast and the Furious movies. I wish I was kidding, but
I didn't hear that.
There's too many of them already.
I'm pretty sure what you probably heard was
This is a public service announcement. Stop making Fast and the Furious movies.
I think what you're talking about is they released like a 3-minute clip of the next Jurassic Park in front of Fast and Furious in the movie theaters.
No, there were like real rumors that there was going to be a crossover, and then people started like backtracking a little bit, but
I don't even think
literally don't believe you.
Yeah, like, I think they're not even made by the same company.
I don't know. I heard it, but anyway, I was sorry to derail. So
yeah,
you go ahead with what you
I
were
derailed
saying.
it for a good reason, Nico. But thanks for. Well, anyways, so my point is, because in the next one, if you guys have seen like the trailers and everything or pictures, is like the dinosaurs have feathers now. So it's like I think they're trying to like change what we technically know about dinosaurs or make it more correct or whatever. But in this book, and I know someone briefly talked about it, the scientist and Hammond talk about dinosaurs, and basically the scientist is like, we can manipulate dinosaurs to do this, and Hammond's like, no, I want the dinosaurs to be like real, but the scientist is like, but they're not real. That's what I'm saying is like we already manipulated it to make them fit like what we think dinosaurs are, and like that's all Hammond was thinking about was like, hey, this is what humans think dinosaurs are, so let's make them like this. And the scientist guy is like, but that's not even what dinosaurs really are, so why don't we change them anyways? So that's all I wanted to bring up to that kind of discuss, because I thought that was really fascinating, like their whole like discussion about that.
That's a really good point, because like obviously in the book there's a little bit more genetics written in maybe more detail than in the movie, since like they have to write it down. You can't just show it on a screen or whatever when they're doing the tour through the lab. But I thought it was interesting, like, because if you don't have the whole genome and it's fragmented, then you do have to fill it with something. I feel like Hammond is completely overlooking the fact that, like, they didn't have a full genome and they did have to fill it with something. So you never know what you've, like, not had, what genes you don't have. So.
Well, the super interesting thing, too, is the movie being made actually caused huge advancements in paleontology and with actually figuring out how the dinosaurs would act, because like there were stories about when they were trying to make the animatronic T-Rex and they were trying to figure out how to make it work. They basically discovered that it actually would had to have moved way more like a chicken than the lizard that they were thinking. And it was because there was so much money coming from Hollywood to fund the movie. It actually like it really had like serious real world impacts on paleontology, because paleontology typically does not get that much money thrown at it. So it's a really interesting byproduct.
I didn't know that.
I kind of remember the book mentioning that they're more closely related to birds and reptiles, or am I making that up?
They are.
No, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why there's that whole like rooster kind of joke thing, like because roosters are basically like dinosaurs, like inheritors of dinosaur genes.
Well, there's that scene at the end of the book when Grant realizes that the raptors are trying to migrate.
Like
yeah,
Oh, I never even thought
I
about
forgot
that.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
it's,
that
it's
part.
literally like one of the last 2 chapters, I
Yeah.
think.
No, I
It
remember
is.
that part. That is at the very end. But and then
I
he realizes,
feel I feel like there were some mentions of possibly having feathers too at some point.
There were, I think.
But I know like they didn't do that specifically for the movie because they wanted it to be like what people would think it would be like and not have it be more accurate for that reason. But yeah, there was just a really astounding amount of like actual like science and research in there. It's really interesting.
Kate is in fact
Something I
correct.
love the most about his books is that the science is like accurate. So not only are you reading this book for fun, you're also like learning something interesting. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
I definitely
was
want to
reading
read more
Timeline
Crichton.
recently, and they're talking about the multiverse theory with quantum foam, and I was like, wait, is this real? And then I started Googling it, and I was like, no, this is like a real thing that like
Yeah.
we really think about. And I was like,
Can we just acknowledge the fact also that if anybody on this panel is going to create a dinosaur, it's going to be Grace?
I'm not in genetics. My roommate Peter, though, he had his undergrad in genetics, so maybe if I team up with him.
Oh.
World
I want-
domination.
Well, hey, just
You
like
heard it here
Jurassic
first.
Park, we'll be a ragtag people of random people coming together for a dinosaur story. We don't even all have to be scientists.
Maybe with my reproductive biology, I can make sure that they don't reproduce this time.
Yes.
I
want a
see?
baby
If we had
hadrosaur.
somebody like you
Mm.
that realized splicing in frog DNA was a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point
Yeah.
of my thesis is to like help people with infertility, but maybe I can just do the opposite and be like, how do we make them infertile? The dinosaurs, not the people.
That's an important point to clarify.
I mean, some people want that, so you know.
Oh, that's true.
Grace, you're on a slippery slope. We're seeing Grace's like introduction to her villainy or whatever. This is her crossroads. She either do something good with her power or bad.
And all of a sudden,
Or
this
nothing.
turned into a discussion about Dan Brown's Inferno.
I just want to point out that I made the joke about a hadrosaur because it's a duck-billed dinosaur.
Oh, that's actually a good
you're
segue.
fucking
What was
right.
everybody's favorite dinosaur? Even though I know we've got 3 dinosaur haters on our panel
The
here.
one that went.
More.
Yeah, you're being really aggressive with this. I think we just said we didn't love dinosaurs as a kid. Katie was just scared of them.
Yeah, I was a scared kid. I couldn't handle much.
I just didn't care about them.
So when I just like
It's all
screamed
good.
like that, both my cats like sat up and were like,
They
Keep
sense
off
the
your attention.
hunter.
"What were those? What were the ones that like screamed?"
Were they
Was
the
it the hadrosaurs?
Dilophosaurus or something?
Why don't you give us a demonstration of the scream?
I already did. You missed
One
it.
more time. Are
I
you talking
think-
about the little chicken-sized ones?
It's
No,
the
no. They're like the bigger
Dilophosaurus?
ones.
with the neck thing.
The one that
Maybe?
killed Nedry,
One that
right?
splits.
Not the compies.
No,
Yeah,
the
you're-
copies are the
They're
little
like-
ones.
The Dilophosaurus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
that one.
the thing
Yeah.
The Dilophosaurus.
that like
'Cause,
spit
like-
venom.
The
The
sound, like,
venom.
whenever you hear the scream, like, whenever you read about the scream in the book, it just, like, invokes, like, the tension and fear. Because, like, you, like, know it's coming. Because, like, the T-Rex is just, like, thumping. But, like, the whatever that was, Crapsaurus. I don't know.
I think it's
Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus or something like that.
Yeah, that
Call
one.
them
But, like,
adults.
the scream itself was, like, very intimidating the way he was, like, describing it.
Okay,
I like the Brontosaurus because they're all about the food, and in the movie they got those big dumb eyes.
Big dumb eyes.
Yeah, they get so confused if you don't move. I love Brontosauruses. They're so cute.
They're
It's
large.
you got a lot of I'd the planators. You got some cool looking dinosaurs too. I mean, raptors of course are cool, but
No, raptors scare the piss out of me.
see, I feel like it was the comment about the pterodactyl earlier. Like book and movie, I feel like the pterodactyls were like the most frightening image for me.
Jesus, Pete.
Okay, I'm just flashing to the scene in Jurassic Park 3 where the kid specifies that he used Tyrannosaurus urine in order to like keep all the small dinosaurs like the compies away. And Grant asks how he got it, and the kid's just like, "You don't want to know." And I think about that line a lot, and I'm just like, "What did you do, child, to get this
I wanna hear it.
Tyrannosaurus urine?"
Oh God.
That's then there you go. So I'll join another image for you along with butt leeches.
Yeah,
Butt
I wanted
leeches.
to know that. Thank you.
That's going to be the big takeaway: is always check your butt for leeches.
Gross.
What about you, John? What was your favorite?
I like the peaceful ones. Whatever one that Tim was feeding when they like spent the night in that like place, and he woke up and he was like feeding the baby version.
The
Wasn't
Brontosaurus?
that a Triceratops? I think.
I think
Oh,
so.
is that
Maybe
Triceratops?
I like Triceratops.
Yeah, just the simple ones are kind of cute. I like their heads. I think I if that's real, that just seems crazy to me. That their skulls does it make that like big sort of like shield shape? I just think
Oh, that's
cool.
totally real. Yeah, there's a. It's not in the movie, but the I had to guess how to spell because I haven't looked up how to spell dinosaur names for a long time. But the Ankylosaurus is like a really heavily. It's got like an armored like
Is that the one with the big
spines.
tail, like the mace of a tail?
Yeah, that's like a mace basically. Yeah, exactly. Like I liked a lot of the armored ones. It's an Ankylosaur.
Oh, I remember that one.
Mhm.
Like I've seen that.
Wait, what's Stegosaurus? Oh wait, no, that's the one with the spikes on its back.
Yeah, that's got the ridges.
I'm
Which those are also really
excited.
cool. Yeah,
What's
there's the armored ones are some of my favorite, but I think those are probably not from Jurassic times. Yeah,
Oh, who knows?
Ankylosaurus.
I don't even think all of these
Well,
were
all of
from
the
Jurassic
some of the
time.
dinosaurs in Jurassic Park lived like millions of years apart from each other, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They
I
were
mean,
never
like
related
the
to that.
Jurassic period was an exceptionally long time.
Well,
too.
speaking of which, I just thought about
Oh, I
the
think I have a
botany
visitor.
aspect. You have a visitor? I'm assuming this is an animal, not a human. She's not talking to somebody like that.
I have a visitor.
Lydia?
I don't know if she'll.
Aww.
Aww.
Do you want to say hi? No, you're just done. Okay.
It's like Sniffy and was like, okay, thanks, bye.
Oh my God, if my dogs came in here, it'd just be like attack, like velociraptors.
Well, her parents went out for dinner together, so I guess I'm the only option.
He's like, you'll do. But I thought that was
Land
interesting
Before
with
Time.
the botany
Excellent movie.
part, where they
Oh,
talked
Land
about
Before
all the
Time.
plants that they brought in, and then like the botanist was just like, yeah, like you have this plant with this plant, and like these are poisonous, and this doesn't work, and you're just like throwing shit in here because it's like back from like the Jurassic period or something. I thought that was really interesting. I wouldn't have like thought about that.
Yeah, like they were like, you think it looks cool, but you're actually poisoning these animals.
Yeah.
And didn't
So I
they
just looked it
mention
up.
that the weather as well? Like, the atmosphere is not the same as it was back then, so like
Yeah.
that's ruining everything
Yeah.
as well.
So it's the Jurassic period ranged from about 200 million years ago to 145 million years ago.
Yeah, weren't T-Rexes in the Cretaceous period? Or did I make? I don't know.
Let's find out.
Let's
Don't
ask our resident dinosaur expert,
don't
Google.
count me on that. But I remember like someone being like, "They're not even from the Jurassic period."
Everyone go to scholar.google.com to
Late
check.
Cretaceous.
Wow, I know something. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Do you
No,
know what
what's
that period is though?
Oh, that's the last one. No.
Nago's just no.
It's Cretaceous, Jurassic, and then Triassic,
Really?
I think.
Those are
Let's
all
start making
eras.
things up. Who's gonna know?
Wait.
Those are
No,
all real.
Does anyone know the dinosaur ride in Disney World? Has anyone been there?
No.
I've never been to Disney World.
Not
Me
recently.
either.
Well,
been
there's
to
a
Disney
dinosaur
World.
ride, and they're like, "We're sending you to the Cretaceous period," and they're like, "No, that's
Oh,
when
yeah.
the asteroids are."
I think I had it backwards, actually. I think it was Triassic, then Jurassic, then Cretaceous. It looks like, yeah, the Cretaceous was 145 million to about 66 million years ago. So, yeah, it would have been Triassic, Jurassic, then Cretaceous was the most recent. Yeah, I was backwards. I'm
So it
sorry.
is the
He's
last
right.
one.
Good job.
Oh, you tried
Katie
to
was
correct
correct.
her, and now you look like a fool. I'm just
It's
kidding.
been a long time since I was an 8-year-old dinosaur enthusiast, okay?
This is clearly information that we can hang on to. So
I mean, I only remember this
everyone
because I was at
keep it
Disneyland
in
too.
there.
Like, if
I
it was longer than
legitimately,
All right,
like,
Katie, let's go brag about it.
No,
I was just gonna say, I wanted to be a paleontologist. Like, I legitimately had like different
Me
books.
too.
I had a couple of books that were like written by paleontologists. Like, I had a college picked out that offered paleontology degrees, like everything when I was younger. So it's like I used to actually know what the heck I was talking about. Apparently, I've lost most of that now. But
So you were the Tim.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, you were the Tim. See, I was like that, except it was with dolphins, and I wanted to be a marine biologist.
I used to want to be a marine
I wanted
biologist.
to be.
My cousin is a
I wanna
marine
be a
biologist.
geologist.
It's a very hard field to break into.
Living my dream.
yeah, I figured paleontology was not the best career path if I want to like make a living wage. So I did not
You
end
didn't
up
want to
going.
constantly have to beg and justify your grants and your work.
Yeah, it didn't sound the greatest, but yeah. Hey, Pete, you still can.
What if he is? He's just not telling us.
It
I
could
wanted to be
be.
a figure skater, so clearly that
He
didn't
is the
happen.
FBI agent that watches us through our computers.
Every time I rewatch Criminal Minds, I'm like, I should join the FBI.
Wow.
Then I look at the fitness requirements and I'm like, no.
I literally was imagining you just like as lazy as can be, just like a giant bowl of chips, just like, yeah, I should do that before you even said the fitness requirements.
I could
let's
do
talk about
white
final
collar
thoughts.
desk job. Come on.
Final thoughts. Oh, what was everybody's star rating or rating in general?
5.
I think I did 4.
I have to go check.
I think I did
I'm
5.
consulting Goodreads.
Yeah, I think I did 4.5.
I think I did
Goodreads doesn't
4.
do half stars.
I mean, 4 for me is I really liked it. So like that's a pretty strong a rating. I just like 5. I usually have to be like I absolutely loved this. Like it's that. So it's like that.
Oh.
That's usually a bit further for me. But I
I
really
give
really
it 5
enjoyed this.
stars like candy, so.
I definitely
Everyone's
gave it
different.
4. I definitely give it 4
It's-
stars because that Lex stuff literally ruined it for me. Like that was
I
honestly
remember you saying
unforgivable.
that.
Because it literally
Yeah,
made me not
legit.
enjoy the book. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars because of that.
I have a daughter, so that really didn't bug me as much as I think it bugged you.
But
I
I,
gave it 4 stars as well.
I have enough
I don't
kids
remember
complaining
why
to me
for-
during the
I
day.
know part of it was Lex stuff.
Listen, we can call you every day and leave you voicemails complaining if you would like.
I'm good.
I mean, Lex was not
Really
as
good.
annoying as some children I have taught swimming to. So, like,
Well,
Fair
realism doesn't make for enjoyment.
So everybody seems to have at least really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody here gives it a high recommend.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Oh,
I'd
absolutely.
Definitely.
And
Totally worth the read.
the
What copies
fancy.
did everybody read from?
Oh, you had a fancy.
So
Like-
I did. I only
Is this a
recently
reason
got
just to like
this.
hold these
This one's
up?
from
or-
Patrick.
Yes, they're back in stock on Barnes and Noble's website.
I'm so.
I have a
angry, 'cause
little
When I was
paper
reading
bag.
it, that was not
Okay, I
in
got two.
stock.
Me
So I got it
neither.
from the
I
library,
read
and
this
I don't wanna
one.
buy it.
My copy's turning pink.
I read from this one because I got this from Half Price Books. Granted, this is like the original cover and it's in great condition, so I wasn't unhappy. But I super wanted this beautiful cover, and then they ended up putting it back in stock because I didn't want to pay like $60.
What are you doing?
He doesn't hate me. Look how cracked the
Breaking
spine is.
that spine. Oh,
Are you
Can you
gonna
play music on that spine?
Like a paperback without cracking the spine.
Mine like doesn't even have any cracks in it. Actually, it has one.
I don't mind cracked spines.
Grace.
I don't know.
You know what?
She just pulled it to like 270 degrees together. So
I don't think I would mind if I originally bought it, but I'd be pretty upset with myself if I'm the one that created it.
No, it was already
That's
like this.
fair.
That's why I did it because it's so.
uh,
Because I don't mind them. Because if it's cracked, that means I read it. And like,
not carefully, obviously.
I don't care.
Like a child. Like a Christmas morning wrapping gift, just ripping it open.
Yeah, it shows that it's had love. You know.
Oh man.
I do most of my books from the library, So I do like half audio and half physical, or half audio and half ebook. So I like don't own any books.
You just
I
have
own
that
way too many
plastic.
books, but it's so pretty though. So
That one
Be
is really
careful with
this-
hand sweat. That
Wasn't
red
really
will
killer.
go into the white.
Okay,
this
so
video is not sponsored by Barnes and Noble, by the
it's
way.
the
It's
bind
great.
up, right, Nico, of both?
I did used to work
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
It is, well, if we're out of focus, it is both. And it's, yeah, so I'll probably read The Lost World at some point now that I have this. But I still, like I said, I like the hardcover I read from. I really wanted it in hardcover, and so I got this. But as soon as they put it back in for just $25, I immediately jumped on that.
I paid
Because-
And
45
10%
because it
off
was
with your
out of stock.
membership.
And I have just paid, like, I got the Count of Monte Cristo one, which is beautiful, but I paid, like, $40-ish for it, and they had that back in stock too. So I'm like, oh.
We don't have Barnes and Noble, so
That's sad.
Oh,
I've never bought a book from Barnes and Noble.
Never?
No, I don't know.
Amazon, right?
worked
I don't
for
buy
2
a
years.
ton.
You worked there for how many years?
2 years.
Oh, 2 years. I thought you said 10 years. I was just like, geez.
No,
That's a pretty
no, I
long
worked
time.
there for like 1 year, and then I had another job, and then I went back and worked there for another year, and they gave you like 30% off as like an employee discount. So
That's great.
Mm.
So you never
Yeah.
made
Are
any
they
money.
hiring?
well, the other great thing that they did is you could actually rent hardcover books from the store and read them.
Oh.
You see, that's the thing I noticed is a lot of their hardcovers are jacked up.
Maybe that's
Maybe
why.
it's more- Employees can
That's
hold
why.
I don't have any of these bad experiences. I don't know what you're talking.
I don't either.
Amazon
I
always
worked
sends
there.
me damaged books. My Barnes and Noble's books are always like, whenever I go and look at the hardcovers, I'm like, why is this slipcover all jacked up?
I've been getting
Yeah, I
like
am always careful.
I've been getting
The way
stuff
they
like
do
all
it
over
is
the
you just
place.
take the slipcover off the book, and then you leave that at work, and then you take the bare naked hardback home. So if the slipcover is messed up, that's not because of that.
Blame the
Fair enough.
It
employees.
is a pretty nice benefit.
This is kind of a random tangent, but when I bought Jade City, like last year sometime, I think, was one of the few times that I went into the bookstore physically. I was gonna get it in paperback because I didn't see any hardcovers on the shelf, but both of the paperbacks were damaged. So I went to an employee and I was like, is there any chance that you have another copy of this? Because like, I don't want to buy either of these ones. And she's like, oh yeah, that's in the sale section. And she took me to the hardcover, which was literally on for like $8. And I was about to buy the paperback like an idiot for like $25.
I would have
my
been
God.
mad.
I would have been angry.
I am so happy that I asked because I ended up getting it in hardcover. And then when I bought Jade City for full price on hardcover, I was like, well, if you even it out, it's fine. I got the first one cheap. So
Man, I hope they redo those covers. I have a huge pet peeve about really popular and like insanely popular books having like really boring covers. I'm just like, isn't there a marketing team that's supposed to be around to make this look good? Why is it so boring?
Yeah.
you know what? That's in there really tight. I don't want to take it off.
I DNF'd it, honestly. I just kept it because I don't know.
I DNF'd it.
Yeah, I wasn't into it.
Oh, you tried that one, Andrew?
I tried it right before BookTube.
Okay.
That was one of those. I think that was a Daniel Green recommendation.
It for
That was
sure
back when I
was.
was-
It for sure
I
was.
actually got that in the book exchange because I've been really curious to try it just because people either seem to love it or like not even get through it. And so I'm
Yeah,
really
it's really
curious.
wanna
Liked
get
it.
through it.
I wasn't a favorite,
I like-
for me, but I liked it.
I like the
I
Oriental
myself-
setting and magic. I don't like gangster books.
But yeah, that's my
Yeah,
problem. I'm not into
That's why I was
that.
a little worried about.
So
See,
Like,
I didn't feel like that was. I felt like it was more family focused. Although obviously the gangs are a big part of it, I still felt like the actual focus was on
Hey,
the
gangs
characters.
are family. Nico and I would know. We're Italian.
I'm sorry.
That said, guys, do we have anything more to say about Jurassic Park?
No, just Jade City. We're now transitioning to the Jade
We're
City
transitioning to Jade City.
for the next hour.
Surprise live show.
Guys, live show, unanticipated. Let's just keep this going for 24 hours and just start rotating books in.
That would be really
Sounds
interesting.
great.
I think if we're all huge, it'd be a
Close your
cool
eyes, pick a
charity
book.
event.
I mean, I got plenty behind me. It's
Oh,
a
I just
little
grabbed
bit of a
Jurassic Park again.
Yeah, Nico and I, we're gonna start talking about Eye of the World. Grace, you can start talking about Jade Legacy.
Ooh,
I'll talk
Megan
about
will
Eye of
start
the World.
talking about Legends of the First
I mean, I'll be
Empire.
talking about Eye of
and-
the World all weekend, so
I got
You
You what?
You're talking about Dune.
I said I'll be talking about Eye of the World all weekend.
Yeah,
enough.
we can prepare Megan for Jordan Con.
Yeah.
Is this your first read through?
Sorry to bring it up, Andrew.
I want to go so bad.
Like 24-hour live show, like because she's.
Patrick, okay. We're
That's
gonna
like 2
ban.
hours per Wheel of Time book.
We gotta ban Patrick when we get back into the Discord. He's gone too far.
A charity stream. Wow.
Are you going to tell me we're going to lose 2 of our moderators over this one joke?
I suppose not.
I mean, I also haven't read Wheel of Time and don't plan on reading it, so that's 3 people you could be losing.
But you know what it is.
You do.
That's the line.
I have not read it,
That's
I'm
a nice
sure they
topic.
know what it is.
but there's a lot
Barnes
of
and
people I
Noble.
haven't read, so you can't.
Don't act like you can get that at Barnes and Noble. Don't let him
I'm
lie to
mad
you. It's
at you.
$150.
Oh my god, no.
anyway.
You can't get these anymore, and I don't think they did restock these. You have to pay like $200 to get one of these now. And I just randomly picked it up one of the rare times I was in a Barnes and Noble, so I was very lucky. But it's a nice copy. I've actually read this one several times.
I'm running out of room for Wheel of Time. We're like I have them horizontal or wait, this is hard. Ah,
There you go.
and I'm running out of
I
room.
have-
So when I
I
buy
have
the
Eye of
next
the World
book-
and Knife of Dreams, and that's it.
Mine are all
Just gotta
up
fill
there.
in a few gaps.
Yeah, to be fair, I
Well,
could
I've read
put
them all. I
across
just
the
only
top.
own 2 of them.
Yeah, there's like nothing else
That
out
works.
there. Wait, what's that
Maybe I'll
brown
put-
book?
On my shelf,
Yeah.
That's
the
Le Guin.
top is Mythology and the Earthsea Illustrated Edition.
Wait, what mythology?
By Edith Hamilton. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
the
Scheiße.
Chinese, like Greek mythology. It's the 75th anniversary edition.
Well, because I have like I have like a
My
Greek
pitiful little
mythology
bookshelf.
book, and it looks like that brown one, not your mythology book.
Tape them to the ceiling.
Yeah,
Hey, could work. This shelf is the exact size that it needs to be to fit all of the Wheel of Time plus the encyclopedia in New Spring. That is kind of a extreme reaction, but it works.
You said that's so monotone, Nico. It sounded like you were selling it. You're just like, and this shelf right here will hold all 18 books.
This bad boy fits so many Wheel of Time books. Slap shelf.
You gotta go up and slap it though.
Click my link below for a discount.
I mean, if they sold it on Amazon, I'd put an affiliate link in for it. But guys, I've earned I think like 30 cents from Amazon.
Andrew,
I think one of those was me just buying Shadow of the Gods. I canceled my pre-order. And
I
then
think it was
re-signed it
mostly
for
only
affiliate link.
you.
Andrew, where did you get your Wheel of Time thing that you have on the wall?
This?
Yes.
Like I pointed.
I got that on Etsy.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay. I've always thought that was really cool. I feel like I've never told you how much I liked that.
Well, now you have, and I'm super, super happy that you did.
Maybe eventually
Well-
I'll get one of my own. I don't have any wall space right now for it, so
Steal your roommates. They don't need it.
you're right. Well, we're all moving out of here in like
This
6
is
weeks.
bad.
so.
All my stuff's small and hard to see, but I have the sword and dragon pins.
Ooh.
I
Yeah,
have some
nice.
Rand artwork by Ariel Burgess hanging up in my guest room.
Nice.
I got no face reading a book.
That's cute.
Cute.
I have a cosplay of Vin that I'm wearing this
Vin?
weekend. Yeah, like Mistborn.
You're
You'll
like
have to send us
tassels.
pictures because that'd be cool.
That's why I cut all my hair off.
Yeah, I was like, your hair looks
Ah.
like perfect for that.
Commitment.
With, like,
Yeah,
kind of
that's
a-
why I did it
Wow.
this way. I literally cut like 12 inches off my hair when I first cosplayed Vin, so that way I wouldn't have to wear a wig.
Oh my gosh.
There
I
isn't
mean,
this
I
look.
love it. That is commitment.
Check
though.
out my
I don't think I could do
Instagram,
it.
Sylvan Princess Cosplay.
I don't have
It's on there.
Instagram.
I'm gonna go do
Well, get it.
I'm still mad I had to make a Twitter for tier list maker.
Say what?
I'm still mad I had to make a Twitter account for that tier list maker website.
I'm actually enjoying Twitter. I've gotten free books.
I don't have time or desire for other social media. I know it'd be a good idea, but I'm just like, eh.
I use
That's really
Twitter.
exhausting.
15% of my
I'm an old man.
my traffic apparently comes from Twitter.
I'm a grumpy old man.
See, like I haven't I don't have like a book Twitter. I just have like Twitter.
I also
I just
just
have a
have
book
Twitter,
Twitter.
and all of the people that I follow are hockey reporters.
I don't know any
Well,
real
Pete,
people
Mine was very
on
easy
my
to make.
Twitter.
Yeah, I haven't like told anybody from like my actual life that I have YouTube because I'm like nervous.
Same.
Hey, I'm from your actual life.
Yeah, well,
I think-
besides you.
I don't shut up about it.
'Cause, like, I told like
I didn't
Grace,
even tell
like
my
our
husband
mutual
that I had
friends,
one.
and 2 other friends. That's it.
My
Everyone
entire
else-
family watches my videos, so
Didn't you meet Grace on
no.
BookTube?
No,
No. We
Oh,
met
that's
through
right.
hockey.
yeah.
Yeah, we've been in a group chat together since 2017. Or 2017?
I think so.
That sounds right. I don't know.
2017.
Sure.
So you met through a hockey Discord or something like that, right?
That was
Wait,
this is
wait.
like free Discord. It was like what
I didn't have Discord until like YouTube.
I don't know where we came from.
We were just created one day. We just were slapped together.
Miscellaneous corners of the internet.
We were put in a group chat and Grace was there.
Yeah,
So-
and Katie was there.
And been best friends ever since.
Yeah.
Back in my day, you put a notice up at the grocery store and waited for people to call.
What the hell? That's so specific. I think you actually did it.
I'm
I
not
used to
that
phone up my
old.
newspaper and put in a classified.
I've never heard of
I
that.
was gonna
I
go
put
with
an
that.
ad in the newspaper for a friend and Grace replied. That's how we actually became friends.
That would be so weird.
It was like the Pina Colada song, where like it's about them putting ads in the paper, and
If you like pina coladas. And my favorite one is the Jimmy Fallon version of that, where it's Andy Samberg is just constantly interrupting him, saying how stupid all of that is.
oh my god, I've never seen that, but I
I'll
love
send it to you. I have to
I don't
send
know
it to
what
you.
you guys have been talking about for the past 30 minutes. I'm just ordering food at the moment, so keep going.
I mean, we
But like what food?
we-
That's
I
important.
think finished
Um,
Jurassic
I'm
Park.
getting a bread bowl
Yeah, we
with
got very far
chicken
derailed.
Alfredo.
Yeah, I mean, this is
You
the
ordering
vault just to
Domino's,
do a
John?
live show at this point.
Yeah, how'd you
We're
do you
so
that?
far
You
off
just
topic.
order.
Domino's has bread bowls?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you eat one and then you kind of hate yourself afterward and feel like you deserve to die a little bit if you finished it in one sitting.
You,
Oh,
If you
no,
eat
I,
it like a reason.
I
eat a
love
Domino's
myself when I'm
pizza.
done.
I didn't
Yeah, it's
know.
kind of it's sort of like eating. Yeah, it's like you just eat the pasta and then it's sort of just like Alfredo and like really delicious like baked bread
Oh my god.
essentially.
That
And
sounds
I
Really
love
bad
myself
for
when
you.
I'm done,
That
Nico.
sounds
So
Do
heavy.
you?
I don't think we have. Have you ever had the lava cakes from Domino's? Those are so good.
My wife
I've
likes
never,
those.
I've never ordered a dessert from Domino's before. Only ever ordered their pizza and
Gluten-free.
cheesy bread.
Where we used to live, they were like one of the only places that would actually deliver because it wasn't a bigger area. And so my wife and I have had like every single thing on their menu, I feel like at this point, because if we didn't feel like going somewhere, that was pretty much it.
That's kind of
like-
how we are at the moment.
Yeah.
That's how I got the bread bowls.
What
We
about
did the
I've got a
pizza, then
pizza
sandwiches, now
place right next to
pasta.
my house.
The sandwiches are pretty solid too, to be honest.
Yeah, they really
from
are.
Domino's?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, Domino's food
no one
is
goes to Domino's.
Domino's has sandwiches?
yeah.
They're like
What has
flatbread.
happened?
They're like flatbread sandwiches. They're so good.
They literally they're not called Domino's Pizza anymore. They rebranded to just Domino's because they actually have a ton of other food.
I feel like that's not true here, unless I just haven't been looking at their menu.
You're still in the Jurassic age or whatever.
Move on to the
Yeah, the
Cretaceous.
Cretaceous. I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to screw up the wording. I can't remember how it's pronounced.
I'm still in the Triassic.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
you're way back. Okay.
Oh.
You're
Okay.
I
older
thought
than
I
me.
was the old one.
Listen, I think I'm the oldest one here.
Not
old are you?
on the inside,
I just
Andrew.
Andrew, you look so young except for your gray hairs. Every time I see, I'm just like, how do you have so many gray hairs?
I mean, you're too young to
How
have
old are
gray.
you, Andrew?
31.
Yeah, like,
Me
that's so
too.
young.
What's
We're the
that?
same age.
Oh wow, Sylvan, you really don't look that old at all.
I mean, see, for me, it's the fact
Yeah.
that I'm
It's
balding.
because I don't have kids.
yeah, I like a receding
Oh,
hairline.
Nico.
Oh, I also have the receding hairline, and I'm balding. So
Oh, this hairline will be with me till I'm 60 years old.
not me. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
hair.
I
I
just
have an
have a
uncle
high
with hair
hairline.
like me.
I'm not actually receding.
My wife says she's gonna leave me if I go fully bald, so I have that
That's
to
when
look
you
forward
shave
to.
it and then
Oh, I've
challenge into a
threatened.
duel.
I've threatened it before, and she just like won't even talk to me. If I shave like bareface, she won't talk to me for
I
like
don't know
3
if that's
days.
something. I don't know if that's even a competition you want to win at that point.
I'm trying to get my husband to grow his out, and he won't. He's a baby.
I mean, I don't have a nice beard, but it works.
That's it. We can keep talking, but I'm gonna end the live show.
Anybody want
Okay,
to?
anybody else sit here?
And the
So thanks everybody who showed up. I do have links to everybody's channel in the description down below. Make sure to check them out and to subscribe. And who knows what we'll talk about next.
Send me your address. I'll order you
Thanks,
Domino's.
Thanks for having us, Andrew.
Not a problem. Thanks for coming.
Bye, guys.
Bye.